So with Anthem being roughly a month away, I thought we'd do a bit of a deep dive into the game and also compare it to some similar titles. One of them being Destiny, which is the main one I'm going to compare it to, and also just the Division 2 because that's coming out around the same time and it's kind of a similar in the genre of Anthem. So I am a big fan of BioWare. I really like Dragon Age. It's probably it is my favorite RPG franchise. I haven't played all of the Mass Effects. I played Mass Effect 1 recently. I played that like last year maybe. And I played Andromeda shortly after that came out when they patched it up a little bit. It was a little bit better. And I did enjoy it, I must say. I played about 6 or 7 hours of Mass Effect 2 and I haven't played any of Mass Effect 3. But I have played through all the Dragon Ages and I really, really like them. My dog's about to knock over my camera, I know it. So yeah, I pretty much have complete faith in BioWare to deliver a great game, but the one thing that is obviously lurking in the back of my mind is... Alright, so with my irrelevant backstory that probably no one cares about out of the way, let's get into the video. On surface level, Anthem and Destiny appear very similar in terms of the visuals of the game, the style, and the gameplay as well in certain ways. But today we're actually going to be talking about why I think they're different enough for Anthem to succeed and why I think it will succeed in spite of Destiny and in spite of the Division 2 coming out a month later as well. I actually think Anthem coming out before the Division is going to help it a lot because it will have that 1 month window to like hook people in before the Division even comes out. So I'm actually going to be talking about maybe 4 or 5 different aspects which I think differentiate Anthem from games like Destiny and The Division 2. And the first one we're going to be talking about is the gameplay, and I did say that the gameplay does look pretty similar, but while I talk about the gameplay looking similar, in Anthem it does look a bit more hectic, it looks a bit more in-depth, mainly because of the jetpacks, and it makes everything a little bit crazier, and also because of stuff like the really cool dynamic weather, which adds another element to the gameplay that The Division 2 and Destiny don't really have. And everything reacts to this weather as well. You can fly around the map at your own free will, which is obviously just a really fun thing to do. It adds to the fun factor, and you can even go underwater with the jetpacks as well. So there is actually some really cool possibilities due to this, like different unique types of enemies, underwater enemies, enemies that can fly. Obviously you can fight people in the sky, you can fight people underwater, which adds a little bit of variety to the enemies and the way you fight them. So I think that could be a big key in why Anthem's gameplay is a bit more fun than a game like The Division 2 or a game like Destiny, which is all obviously just going to be kind of standard enemies that you have to fight. So yeah, while I did say the gameplay does look similar, I think it's going to be different enough to hook people in, and it should have a good bit of variety in terms of the enemies. So that could end up being a lot of fun. So the second reason we're going to be talking about why I think Anthem is going to be different enough is relationships and dialogue. So what BioWare is actually best known for is its relationships and game choices, the way you pave your own story pretty much going through the game. While in Anthem it won't be as in-depth as say something like Dragon Age or Mass Effect, BioWare have said that there will be a more simplified version of what we know from Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So I do expect this to be pretty basic. So I'm not going to say this is going to be a game changer or anything, just because obviously of how basic I expect it to be, but I think it's still worth mentioning because BioWare are known for that sort of stuff. And if you have some cool relationships with some really great characters throughout this game, that could add another level to the game of Anthem and why it could end up being maybe better than Destiny or The Division 2. Because I think BioWare are actually the best at doing this. I really feel like connected to the characters when I'm playing through Dragon Age and when I'm playing through Mass Effect. I feel like they just do a great job, and the way that you can form different types of relationships, you can obviously become their lover. They said there won't be any romances in Anthem. BioWare are known for that as well. In Dragon Age and Mass Effect, you can romance pretty much whoever you want. Well, there's certain characters you can romance, but I think BioWare do a great job in this regard, and I really enjoy the character relationships in Dragon Age. And actually, like, the decisions that you make with these characters throughout the game do affect the game, and they affect the way that the people and the characters look at you, the way they look at you, the way they think of you. So I think that's obviously one of BioWare's greatest traits, and hopefully that it's a bit more in depth than I think it will be, because as I said, I do think it's going to be basic. But if it's a little bit more in depth and it does have a lot there, then that would absolutely be awesome. So the third thing we're going to be talking about is hero customization, character customization. And in Anthem, I think the customization of your character is going to be a lot more prominent than in a game like The Division or Destiny, because that's the way it is in pretty much all of BioWare's games, unless they're just going to switch it up for Anthem, which I don't believe so. I think we've seen some customization already, and it's going to be a lot more in-depth in those other games. And this will lead to people having a lot more personalization for their heroes, their javelins as they call them here in, I was about to call it Destiny, in Anthem. I think IGN actually done like a 45-minute video of just character customization, so obviously it's going to be pretty in-depth. I think you can like get Mass Effect armor and all sorts of other shit. They went through a host of different customizations of the characters, so I might actually leave a link to that video, or else I'll have some of the gameplay of character customization up on the screen right now. Because in Dragon Age and Mass Effect, you can be all sorts of different creatures, all sorts of different beings. You can customize your character in really in-depth ways, so I think Anthem's going to be pretty similar in that regard. Obviously not with like the different types of elves and different beings, but it will be more in-depth in terms of like the armor that you can put on your character than in a game like Destiny. And I'm actually really excited to customize my first character. Can't wait to get into Anthem. I think I will be streaming the game, guys, so if you want to subscribe here on YouTube, I'll be streaming it on YouTube Gaming. Be doing that once the game comes out on EA Access. I think I'm going to be playing it on Xbox One just because PS4 doesn't actually have EA Access. I would probably get it on PS4 because I play most of my games on PS4 now, but yeah, the EA Access thing is a game changer because you get it 7 days early. So the last thing we're going to be talking about in terms of differences is the no PvP. So there's going to be no PvP multiplayer. It's going to be only co-op. There's going to be nothing to balance. That's the reason BioWare have opted not to go for PvP multiplayer like Destiny. It's because the different types of heroes, the different weapons they have, they didn't want to have to put the focus on balancing all of them in the game, which I think is going to lead to a lot more fun with the characters. You don't have to worry about them balancing the weapons and everything. This way they can just put all their focus into the game in front of them, and what the heroes can and can't do won't be limited based on competitive multiplayer. So I think that's pretty much it on the differences in the games. One of the biggest problems I feel for Anthem is that it's coming out around the same time as so many other games. Metro, Crackdown 3, what's the other one? There's another big one coming out as well. Far Cry New Dawn, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of games coming out in February, so that could limit the sales of Anthem. But I actually think Anthem's going to come out on top in February. I think it's going to be the best-selling game for February, and I'd be interested to see what sells more and what player base is higher after a couple of months, after the Division has been out for a month I can't speak English. After the Division 2 has been out for a month or two, and see kind of what player base is higher, who's playing what more. I'd really like to see the Anthem versus Division comparisons in terms of sales about a month after the Division 2 comes out. That would be really interesting to see, because I think that these games are too similar to be playing both of them consistently. I'm going to play both of them, but I'll probably end up playing one a little bit more in terms of like getting really deep into it. And so I feel like that will be the case for a lot of people, and I can't wait to see which one comes out on top there. Let me know which one you're more excited for. Are you more excited for Anthem, or are you more excited for the Division 2? And in terms of Anthem versus Destiny, do you think there's a comparison to be made there, or do you think that they're different enough to succeed? Let me know in the comments down below. If you would drop a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps it reach other people. I'd love if we could hit like 75 likes on this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll be back with more videos in the very near future. As I said, I'll be streaming Anthem for sure. I streamed a lot of The Division when that came out, so I'll be streaming The Division 2 as well when that comes out. I think that's out March 21st, so it basically comes out like a month after Anthem. So Anthem has a month to grab people and keep them there after the Division 2 comes out. So I assume they'll have some like end game update around when the Division 2 comes out to try and keep people hooked into Anthem. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, as I said, and I'll see you guys for another video very, very soon. Peace out.